Hello, I made a series of videos on my second channel showing how I went about creating a simple project. And it's in response to an idea that I had some time ago about one of the other people on YouTube that I follow who is colorblind. And I thought I would try to make a fairly simple little tool that someone like that could use to see if they could get detail out of images or whatnot that would otherwise be hidden from them. And I got it to the point now where it's kind of useful. If you look in the description below, you'll see a link to my GitHub repository. And I'll probably also put a link to the executable Java jar file on my Google Drive that you can go and get a copy of and then just run it directly. The only thing you should have to install would be the Java runtime environment. And it's at a point now that it should be just barely functional. So the idea was that if you are presented with an image like this and you can't see the color detail in it, there's a 6 here, by the way. I've preloaded a number of color blindness transformation filters. So this one, for example, the protanopia, combines the red and green so you can't really see. If you squint really hard, you could probably see the 6 here. But if you didn't know that there was a 6 in the first place, you probably couldn't see it. So the idea was, how can we change the color scheme so that somebody who is of that particular color blindness be able to see the detail? And when I implemented it, I found that somebody had come up with a number of color matrices to transform the colors accordingly to match what somebody who's colorblind would see. And the idea is fairly simple. For somebody who is this specific color blindness, 56.6% of the red goes to red, 43.3% of the green also goes to red, 55.833 goes to green of red goes to green, 44.167 of green goes to green, and then there's green and blue that find their way to the blue channel. So the idea was to create a color transformation matrix based on these sorts of color transformations. And I've added a dialog that the red output is derived from 100% of the red, none of the green, none of the blue. The green output is derived from 100% of the green, none of the red, none of the blue, and so on for the blue. So in order to be able to see colors that were otherwise hidden for the colorblind, the idea would be to start playing around with the color matrices so that it alters the ratio of the colors in such a way that those who are colorblind can see the colors that were otherwise hidden like this. So I've added a couple of fairly simple ones. You can swap the red and the green around. You can see that in this case, nothing really major happened. You can swap the red and the blue around, and you can kind of maybe start to see a little bit of the 6 here. And in this case, swapping the green and the blue really helped. And you can play around with these colors any way you want as well. And the other thing too is that the sum total of all three has to be between 0 and 255. So if I've got red cranked up all the way, for example, and I add green, then it has to take away from the red. And if I try balancing these two and I add blue, then the others have to come down as well. So that's the basic idea behind swapping some of the colors around. And there are other features that I could possibly add, like maybe add some kind of psychedelic color rotation where it starts changing these values around dynamically. This might be fine and all, but there are some real world examples of where this might come in useful. Let's say, for example, somebody sent you this picture and you want to see what the color details might be like. One of the features that I've added was the ability to take a screenshot from the clipboard. So let's say you take a screenshot of this. You copy it to the clipboard and you can come back over to here and you can say from the clipboard. Again, it kind of depends on the type of color blindness. If I pick the protanopia, for example, the walkway looks like a similar shade of the grass, and you can see that there are bushes in front of the house, but it might be a little bit hard to see the flowers in these bushes here. And so this is where one of these things would come in handy. You could maybe try swapping the red and the green. Here you can see that the flowers start coming out looking a little bit blue. If I swap the red and the blue around, or swap the green and the blue, you can see that the flowers really start popping out. Or we could try, let's go back to this one and let's try playing around with some of these other colors. And this looks kind of interesting. The colors are definitely not representative of real life, but you can see that it does a reasonably good job of separating the different color spaces. And you can kind of see where all of the different splotches of different colors kind of reside. Let's see what else we can find. That looks kind of interesting. Let's see what this one looks like. And even with the old values from the previous image, this one's not so bad. I'm taking a look at some of the details. Some of the houses really stand out like this here because the roofs are red, but they kind of blend a little bit with the grass, but not quite as much as the last image. But so anyways, that would be the idea behind this. If you're interested, go and look in the description below. You should be able to see some useful links. And that's going to be it for now. If you like this video, if you like the idea of this tool, I'd appreciate if you go over to my second channel and take a look at the videos and possibly subscribe if you're kind of interested. I did not bother doing any editing on that one. I just recorded as was and posted them. But that's going to be it for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video soon enough. Bye for now.